Yeah. Yay. Finally, the madness is sweltering down a bit and we can get into the fun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thrashers Paradise. This is a return 6 years in the making. I am very happy to be joined with Jay from IATT. We interviewed them 6 years ago, and I don't really remember what the album was, but I do remember we were discussing the single December 28th because
Yes.
that was
So
coming out around that time.
yes, we discussed December 28th. We were releasing the album Nomenclature. It was our debut
Oh, that's
album
right.
with Black Lion Records. So it was our first release with that label, and December 28th came out in December following that, which was a song that we rewrote, and it had an apocalyptic you know, theme to it. So
Yes.
so it's been a while.
Yes. It has been a while, and I'm glad to see your face again and to have you back here on Thrashers Paradise, where we're here to discuss the brand new album and film, The
Yes.
Etheric Realms of the Night. So, I guess right off the bat, I'm curious to know what was first? Was it the album or the film?
So, I've been asked this question a few times, and the answer is the album has been completed since 2024, the beginning of 2024. We had our full masters together. We wrote the album before that, and then we started to film. The way that we constructed this film, it required the songs to be a complete package and everything to be tightened up and all the nooks and crannies to be executed. So the album came before the film.
Okay. Now, I bet you probably got this a lot too. What inspired the film?
Well, we've released a lot of cinematic singles and videos throughout our time as a band, and our rhythm guitarist, he has a film degree. So we like to create. Yersinia Pestis, which was one of the songs from Nomenclature, was it one of the music videos that we created on our own. And this was an ambitious project that created its own theme while writing. So we decided that we wanted to do the Pink Floyd thing and create a album slash film for a complete experience. We're a very cinematic band, and this leans into what we do.
Amazing. Now, this is the third full length that will be coming out, and I'm kind of curious to know, compared to the second one, are there any new inspirations for you that you felt helped drive you when creating this new album?
So I will say that we have some returning instrumentation, or some weird, odd instrumentation that you typically don't find in metal. But we've been a band that has always pushed the envelope, we would like to say, when it comes to genres. We like to challenge genres, and we don't want to put ourselves in a box. So we decided to just write what we like, write what we enjoy,
Mhm.
have the ability to express, our wide range of interests musically. We don't really want to recreate albums. We don't really want to recreate sounds. Obviously, we are inspired heavily by, bands like Emperor and Enslaved, other bands that push the genre. So your Opeths and things like that. So we decided we wanted to dream big and write what we like, and then
Yes.
maybe someone else, it would resonate with them. So that was our approach to this album.
Amazing. Now, I was earlier today, I was listening to Magnum Opus, and I do gotta say, I really do appreciate the saxophone that you included in a good portion of the songs. I felt that made the album stand out more and make each song a little bit extra special when you have that hidden element of that saxophone because it was so unpredicted.
I have a surprise for you guys. Tomorrow on April the 15th, we are releasing our third single. It's entitled Walk Amongst. And that saxophone player, he made a return, Jorgen Munkeby. He plays live keyboards with Emperor, and then he's the front man for Shining Black Jazz. So, he makes a return on that single. So go check that out. It's going to be premiered on Decibel. But Jorgen did make a return. He was on Ouroboros on Magnum Opus, and then he returns to this album as well. So,
That is amazing. And I am kind of curious though, what did make you guys go, you know what? This a saxophone could really help elevate this particular song.
so we have a lot of like obscure prog rock, 70s psychedelic influences. Growing up, Joe Canamessa, his dad was a big influential part in those influences for him. So, we wanted to add in that crazy voicing of a saxophone. We also, in our lead single for this album, Drift Away, we have a flute player playing, and he's from the 70s prog rock band Gong. His name is Dieter Melherby. And that was one of the influential parts that Joe drew from like his father's influence. So to be able to have a Grammy winning flute player on your album is a big that's a big accomplishment for us personally. So, we
Oh
like
yeah,
to draw the obscure instruments when they fit. And
yes.
the theme for this album was to just pull from every direction, and if we enjoy it, if we like it, we're going for it.
And speaking of pulling in every direction, I feel the album artwork really exemplifies that little statement. I love it. It's dark, it's eerie, but also you can see the beauty of it. It's
Yes.
so brilliantly done. What really inspired this direction for the artwork?
So, Alec Pisano, our multifaceted band member, he created the artwork. And I would say, like, with anything that has to do with this project, this album, it was a very organic pull artistically. The soundscapes, the sonic instrumentation really leaned into the dream theme and the dreamscape theme of this album. So the dissonant chords, the chaos, it aligned with the chaos that happens in your dreams. So that had a big play with creating this artwork, and he did a phenomenal job. It has a classy yet disturbing feel to it, and sometimes your dreams are elegant, and sometimes they are disturbing. So that was the inspiration there.
That and you can see it in the artwork. And I do have to say the IAT logo itself really complements the album. It just fits in so perfectly to the whole theme of the album artwork. And I just think it's great placement, but also it fits so well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. I am curious to know though about the film. The film, very exciting. Not a lot of bands do come out with a film. Where are the people going to be allowed or be able to see it?
So I guess I will make the announcement here. You're hearing this first on Thrashers
Oh,
Paradise. We haven't made this announcement, but we've inked a deal with Thunderflix. I don't know if you know what Thunderflix is. It's a Netflix type platform for metal
okay.
videos, for live performances, for documentaries. Some of the bigger bands like Ozzy, you have Opeth on there, Creator. A lot of the bands that are on Seasons of Mist and Raining Phoenix Music, they've been releasing their films there. So we've inked a deal with Thunderflix, and it will premiere on Thunderflix. So you're hearing it first here. We haven't announced it yet, but
Wow.
you're hearing it first here.
Oh,
And
wow.
then Yeah, so it's exclusively going to be on there for a set period of time, and then we it will release elsewhere.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for the exclusive content, but also that is amazing and really cool. How like just be how exciting is it? Like
It's
knowing like things are lining up.
I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about it. We have okay, so we've been working on this project for a very long time. Working on the film, it took 18 months just to film this project. So I just have to say that the stars have aligned for us so naturally, and it's just scary. When you think about it, when it comes to the locations that we shot, the people that volunteered their locations, and we sold the idea to them, and they were all for it. They didn't charge us. We made sure that we showed our gratitude and contributed to their locations as much as we could. And then down to the actress, she was down to, dedicate 18 months of her life to this project, and she was on board. It was almost as if she's a fifth member of the band. So, it's the stars have aligned with this project, and just connecting with C Squared Music, and some of the shows that we're booking that we weren't able to get before. And we have, some other opportunities coming up later in the year for touring. So, it really has been magical how things have lined up. So it's
Yeah.
just very exciting. And then, you know, being able to get the Thunderflix deal, that's exhilarating. How many bands get the opportunity to do something like that? Unless you're on like a huge label, and we're on Black Lion Records, and they've showed all their support and everything like that. But usually it takes some time in your career to be able to create a film and release it on a platform like that, made for metalheads.
Yeah. No, that's amazing though. It's amazing to hear. You brought up touring, and of course, it's kind of essential for a band if you really want to get your name out there to tour a bit. And we talked a bit about you coming up north. You got a show coming up in Ottawa in and Montreal in the summer. But I am kind of curious to know what is what places are you hoping you're able to book to perform in? Like outside, like doesn't have to be in Canada, like anywhere in general. Like what cities are you hoping you can like hit up on this tour?
Well, on this tour, we've hit up Rochester, New York. So when we come back down this way, we'll be playing a show in Rochester. We're hoping to maybe hit Albany. We really want to play where there's, music scenes where they want or crave our type of music. So we just want to be in front of a crowd that could appreciate what we're doing, because we have a lot to offer. We put 18 months into this, and we're going to just lay it out on stage. There's a lot of like announcements and things that are coming with this album. And we have some inquiries in the West Coast. So later in the year, we're working with DNA Entertainment. Our booking agent is looking at the West Coast as well. So if it was up to me, like, I really want to play some festivals. I would
Mhm.
love to play some festivals. You have Sherbrooke Festival, you have some Armstrong Festival in Canada and things like that, Louder Than
Eh,
Life. So I would love to play any of those shows. I just want to get up there and just exchange energy with a crowd. Like there's just a
yeah.
exhilarating feeling when, that crowd is amped up and you feel it and you get goosebumps, and then you're just exchanging energy with them, and the sound waves are just crashing through your body. That's what metal is all about. You know what I mean? Like it's just that's metal
Yes.
right there. It's just that exchange. Like, you never know if you're going through something that day, and that metal show will change your mood, everything. You can just express what, the issues in life that you have. So that's what it's all about, and we're at this point where, you know, we did something that was grand, and we're just not holding back at this point. We're just going all in with this album and with this film. So
Amazing. Now, you got all this lined up for yourselves, and I know it's very exciting and all that, but I want to step back to writing the album. And the early stages with the songs and just the instrumentation, all that. For you personally, what did you feel was the hardest part when getting started with this album?
I would say the most challenging part, and I'm speaking for the majority of the band, would be um, consciously making sure that we're not limiting ourselves. Sometimes as a band, when you're writing, you start to second guess parts, and especially if you're experimental and you're pushing the envelope, you may say like, well, maybe the crowd won't get this, or what are other people going to think about it? But it's a fight. It's a push and pull of, are we writing what we like? Do we enjoy this, or are we worrying about how this album is going to be perceived? So perception, we had to kick perception out the door, especially with our writing style. And we have to just write what we like and what we're inspired by. This lineup has been together for 14 years at this point, and a lot of our songs are written off of chemistry. Maybe Joe may bring in about 30 seconds to a minutes worth of a song, and he says, "Hey guys, do your thing with this. Throw in your influences." So that's basically how we write our music. Is we have tidbits here and there, and we listen to them, review that tidbit, and come back with like fresh ideas. And by the time you listen to the riff or the portion of the song with all our influences, it has changed and for the better. So it's we're a cohesive writing project. Some bands, and I've been in projects where they have a full song completely conceptualized, and you basically have to play within the realms of that song. But with IAT, we rely completely on chemistry, and I think that's how we're able to stand out with our sound and what we do.
Awesome. Amazing. And yet so crucial.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
you,
crucial to our existence.
yeah, yeah. So 14 years this lineup has been together. A lot of bands, with depending on how long they've been together, there's been band changes here, there, and everything. But 14 years just of you guys together. How do you guys do it? Like, because working together for 14 years, I guarantee there must be some frustrating moments here or there, and just times where the one isn't like too friendly with the other. But so, how do you guys like do it? Like, how have you guys made it work for the past 14 years?
I would credit it to being the right mix of people. Um, we've sacrificed a lot, and it's been very grueling. Over this time frame, but we have just the right mix, and we all know our roles, and we hone in on those roles, and we know when to back down or when to um, you know give an exchange. So I think we're just the right mixture of personalities and individuals together. And, we're just very aligned. We're very aligned. And that's really what it comes down to. It can be difficult, it can be challenging. We had a good amount of member exchanges before that 14 years. And, once we locked into the right mixture of talent and personality and the want to push forward. So
Amazing. It's, it's good to know because, like, you know, a bandship is very much like a relationship. Like, you gotta put in a lot of work to be able to make it work.
yeah,
That
it's
makes
it's
sense.
exactly it is a relationship. It's a relationship. It's a brotherhood. It's a family, and that sounds cliche, but it's really the truth. If you act as a hired gun, you may not get you may not get very far.
Yeah. Now, thinking back to when we first talked 6 years ago, you think 6 years ago, Jay would believe that IAT is where they are now?
I don't think that a year ago I would believe that IAT is where it is now. Um, yeah, we've accomplished a lot, and we're very driven individuals, and we don't really get the time to appreciate where we're at this moment. But we're getting a lot of love. We're hearing from fans from all over the world. When you see that you have this many streams in Taiwan, and then this many streams in Norway, and this many streams in Germany and Australia, it's surreal. We just had a fan that went to a Emperor show wearing an IAT t-shirt, and then he tagged us and he took a picture with Isan and all the legendary members of Emperor. So, he was like, "Oh, we finally have IAT and Emperor together." But that's surreal. Just the Thunderflix deal and working with Curtis, who has clients from Cataclysm and Deicide and Opeth and things like that, and him being excited about this project, and he's working with these big huge bands, so it's all surreal. Just the fact that we finished the film, or the
Yeah.
album, and I go in little chats and I see them saying, have you ever heard of this band IAT, or for fans of IAT, or blah blah blah. That's just, we may not be huge, but those things really mean a lot to me because I was a fan of metal myself. I'm a fan of extreme metal myself, so, and progressive metal. So just it is surreal. Like sometimes I have to step back into the role and I'm like, you're an artist. You do this for real. And then sometimes I'm like, I just want to
Yeah.
appreciate this. So it's surreal that we are where we are, but I'm always pushing to go further. Like I said, I want to play these huge festivals in Europe and Canada and all these places that metalheads alike just come together. So
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Jay, I got one last question for you before we end things. It's a fun one. If you might remember last time when I asked another fun one. Now, since you guys have entered the film industry, eh, I am curious to know where else would you like to see the IAT brand branch off into?
hmm, that's an interesting one. Um, I guess I may be spilling our hands, but maybe in the adult beverage
Okay.
industry. I may be spilling our hand here, wink, wink, but
Uh, ah, ah.
maybe in the adult beverage industry. We've had a coffee, an IAT coffee, when we released Magnum Opus. So maybe we can lean into the adult beverage industry and brand
Yeah,
you know our brand be stamped on something like that.
yeah, just try and make try and make stronger drinks each time.
Exactly, exactly.
Jay, thank you so much for your time. I know your time is valuable, and I greatly appreciate you setting aside this little bit of time for this little thrashy boy from Hamilton. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to say before we let you go and you go get prepared for your, filmography debut?
Sure. So you can come see IAT live on June the 27th in Montreal at the Piranha Bar. We'll be playing with longtime friends in Frostbite and Giver. And then we'll also be in Ottawa on June the 28th at the Dominion Tavern. So come see us there live. Check online. We have links posted there. Etheric Realms of the Night. the album will be released May the 8th. So if you have any links on this interview, just go and go check out the band IATT, and then the film comes out July 24th. So it was a pleasure talking to you, Colin, and that was a mouthful, but I can't wait to connect. Maybe we'll see you in Canada when we come up that way. We're looking at a London date or a Toronto date, so maybe Hamilton,
I
hopefully.
maybe I can assure you I would be very confident in going to a Toronto or London show or even
Awesome,
Hamilton.
awesome, cool, cool. That would be cool. All right,
Yes. And
so
all right.
I'm
And
going to
until
stop
next
recording.
time, everyone. Okay. Keep on.
Keep on thrashing.
This one will down.